Hey guys, welcome back to Alliance Tournament 11. I'm CCP Rise here with CCP Dolan. We're about to watch CVA fight against the R0NIN in the winners bracket. And these teams have both brought setups pretty similar to what they did last weekend. CVA, almost exactly the same setup, bringing mostly Amar. They've swapped out the Coercers for Talwars, but otherwise pretty much the same. And the R0NIN brought Galente Brawly setup last time, but it was more focused on cruisers with some Vexers. This time, instead, battleships for them. Kronos, Megatron, along with kind of a normal support squad. So what do you think?
Curatores, Veritatis Alliance, of course, our role-playing alliance from Providence, breaking the mold and going with Mimitar Talwars to just change things up. No longer the pure Amar roleplay team. I actually really like the R0NIN team here. Like, rolling up and brawling with legions is, if they can catch these legions, they'll be in a really good spot. And these are ham legions, right?
Yes, yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we checked beforehand. They're definitely ham legions. These teams both warp to pretty much max range on the beacon, maybe 30k for R0NIN. So it'll be a second before damage gets started here. And actually, CVA is headed away from the R0NIN team. That's pretty interesting.
That's a big mistake because the R0NIN is just about the best team we saw yesterday in terms of damps, and they have repeated that performance again today. Basically shutting down all of the damage for CVA, and it's only going to be worse as the CVA tries to kite away.
Well, so CVA's damage is super close range anyways. They're definitely not moving away because they want to apply damage from far away. They're moving away probably because they want to force R0NIN to have to burn some to get to them. They will have to. Both the teams will end up fighting at super close range. Both teams really want to be in close when they're eventually, but by using the arena to force them to spend cap, they can gain some advantage late in the match when cap starts to become an issue for ships like the Navy Brutix or even one of the battleships. That said, of course, the match time isn't all that long, and one of them is going to have to go for it here eventually.
Yeah. And R0NIN's not a team that can really be baited out, I don't think. R0NIN is a very patient team. They have a lot of tournament experience. It'll be interesting to see if they're burning at them, but they're not jacking micro warps to try and split up or anything. They're just sort of taking a casual pace, getting there when they need to, and they're getting there as a whole team, hopefully, unless they've just gone crazy. As I say that, they start to split up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other big advantage, other than using up cap, is that if they get positionally disorganized in any way as they come across the field, that could offer openings that could help out. Giving more exposure to a logistics ship or isolating the battleships from their support for a little longer, stuff like that can actually make a big difference. But they've used up 2 minutes now, and they're gonna have to start shooting stuff pretty soon here. And as I say that, it looks like we're just about to the point where damage will start getting applied.
Yeah, exactly. So here we see some damage coming in that Tormentor. Armor rep's already on top of him. Of course, they've chosen to apply no damps to Jen Solak and the Oneros on CVA. So he has full lock range, full freedom to apply his damps. They're just damping out all the damage that could come in, just trying to prevent locks from happening as they approach.
The other possible strategic advantage to pulling them towards the edge of the arena is giving them the opportunity to screw up and boundary violate. I feel like it sounds small, but if you're a team that's like super conscious of the boundary, which all teams should be, but then you force a sort of chaotic fight to happen close to it, you at least create more opportunity for your opponent to make mistakes and lose ships to boundary violations. Although, again, these guys are going to have to engage pretty soon here. I don't know. Maybe they're totally comfortable going to a tie-dye phase and seeing what happens when things are moving a lot faster, but I don't think either team would really choose that if they...
But to be fair, once you enter the tie-dye phase, you don't want to be the team pinned up against the arena, because you even the smallest directional misclick can just catapult you out of the arena.
Yeah.
Like, if this went to tie-dye and CVA was in the position they were in, if they just tried to turn around not to run into the R0NIN team, and they do it for a second too long, they'll just jet right out of the arena because time is so fast. By the way, for those of you who don't know, weren't watching yesterday, the new tie-breaking mechanic is if teams advance past 10 minutes and they're still even on points, the match continues. As that match continues, we use our tie-dye system, our time dilation system that most of you will know from EVE Online for big fleet fights and blah, 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 slowing time down. We actually speed time up. Only in the singular system, this is the first time it will have ever happened on Tranquility, up to 7.5 times the normal speed of EVE Online. So every 1 second is actually 7.5 seconds. So things like 25 kilometer a second destroyers, all sorts of this fun stuff can start happening.
All right, so damage is going to start happening. There's less than probably 15k between the R0NIN Megathron, or sorry, R0NIN Megathron and the CVA team. So damage is, missiles are in the air now, and the Megathron is going to be the first target for now, at least until something gets closer. And now the rest of the R0NIN support is dove in as well. Ishkers and stuff headed in there.
Yeah, but reps are being applied, so we'll see if those reps can hold as he goes. Reps catching on the CVA team equally well. It's clear that both of these teams have practiced. They're patient and calm in the arena. Oftentimes teams who are new can get in there and panic. Their FCs get too excited. They're in Joe space for the first time, all this sort of stuff. As an Ishkur drops into structure, Kufik for the R0NIN, and that's going to be a point lead for CVA. And potentially with the speed that this match has been going, as I say that, another Ishkur going down, Krivis dropping. Looks like CVA is dominating the support war with these towers, which are so good at fighting off other tiny small frigates.
An interesting dynamic in this match is the damps are not having a huge impact because CVA, the CVA team's happy to be at close range and fight. Whereas the CVA team has a whole bunch of tracking disruption, which is probably making it really difficult for the Kronos, Megathron, and Navy Brutix to apply any of their damage.
As we see Braggle dropping in return.
Wow, Brutix going down fast.
Brutix dropping like a rock. Sacrilege, they're trying to trade for it, but I don't think they will. I think this Brutix is going to drop first, even with reps applied. He's getting all the reps from that Guardian, no interruptions, and he's still just getting blasted through.
And while that's happening, as that Brutix drops, he should go down in just a second. It looks like a Merlin could as well, along with the Tormentor for CVA. Getting back to that boundary thing, there are CVA ships at about 110k from the beacon, and the radius is 125. So definitely could come into play at some point.
The Oneros, so they tried to break that Sacrilege. I think they're largely done with that plan. They realized that with their Brutix Navy issue down, they needed to kill that Oneros. They're not going to be able to shoot through its reps. They need to drop it so it's tackled. It's damped now, and we'll see if they can bring it down and maybe turn this around. That's typically how these turnarounds happen. One team keeps their logistics up for longer. The other team loses their logistics or doesn't bring one and just falls apart over time of the match. Like, logistics get stronger and stronger the longer the match goes.
Safe to say here that as we often talk about, a separate support fight is going on. I'm checking out some of the Tormentors and the Talwars, and they're working on that support for the R0NIN. So, wow, Oneros going down for CVA.
Solid dropping.
All right, so they were able to. That's one benefit of the damps. He definitely has to be close to the fight because of the damps, and they were able to pin him down and kill him. So that's good for the R0NIN, but they have a lot of work to do still.
It looks like they're going to be switching their damage to Hybris Carnal, potentially, tackled and webbed. So they're going to be applying full damage. Those tracking disruptors are not going to work when you're webbed and moving at 15 kilometers a second. So you should be doing full damage there. But as we go forward into the match, they're priming Rams in the Megathron. I don't know. I think they probably wanted to try and drop the Kronos. Better resist on the Kronos, though. So, but they need to get rid of those webs and get their stuff moving so their tracking disruptors actually work.
So the Guardian for the R0NIN, you can see has damps on it, but otherwise it's completely free to do what it wants. The Talwar is fielding damps on the CVA side, so they're trying to push the Guardian a little closer with those. But otherwise, he's completely free to rep that Megathron, as much as he wants.
And he is repping full. He's been running reps the whole time, and they've just been burning through it with Ham Legions. As we say that, the Hybris Carnal, the Sacrilege they tried to break before but couldn't, is now breaking with no Nero support on the field, and there he goes.
So still a lot of ships on the field for both teams. This could definitely still go either way. The Megathron now hanging at about 50% armor, but as they start taking off some of the DPS, in this case in the form of that Sacrilege, it'll get easier and easier to keep him up, and he seems to be stabilizing, actually. Yep. I wonder if CVA needs to switch to the logistics to have any chance to get through
He's stabilized.
Tormentor down.
R0NIN in the lead by 1 point now, even dominating the support fight. Killing that Oneros, killing that Sacrilege just put them in the lead. As they start to actually win the support fight, it looks like here, they're coming back around and starting to kill stuff. Tormentor drops. That's all the Tormentors down. Only Towers left on the field.
They just switched. You're looking at a CVA Legion now. They gave up on the Megathron. They're headed for the Guardian. So let's see how this goes. All that DPS from CVA, at least any of it that's free of webs from the Kronos, is heading over to see if they can get this Guardian off the field.
Yeah, if they can get the Guardian off the field, that's the only way that CVA is going to come back in this match. Right now, they just can't break through anything that's being repped by the Guardian, and they can't shut down his reps. He's locking no matter how much they damp him. And there's only the Towers.
Legion is breaking fast too. First Legion heading into structure now. At the same time, one of the Towers about to go down. The Tormentors are all finished off. Wow, Tower down, Legion down, all the Tormentors down. Crazy turnaround from R0NIN here.
Is this going to be the day of turnaround matches?
I hope so. It's
This
awesome.
is great. I think it just comes down to these teams not making calls of when to kill the other team's logistics. They're letting the logistics stay too long for the other team, and it's just making the match fall apart as it goes on.
It's definitely a tough decision. It felt like CVA had a really calculated approach to this match, and they didn't make any decisions, I don't know, unintentionally or recklessly. They definitely had a plan here. I have to think that plan comes from practice.
Yeah.
And they thought they could break the DPS ships under logistics, and they just weren't able to, and now they're in huge trouble.
Yep, exactly. I think that Damps are played such a huge part in this match. The Oniros not being able to stay safe. A lot of these teams are relying on the piloting alone of the logistics pilot to keep them safe.
Time up. R0NIN
go.
wins. What a match. I'm excited to see both these teams in the next round because that was really cool.
So R0NIN continuing through the undefeated bracket. CVA dropping down to the elimination bracket. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes with Sleeper Social Club versus Verge of Collapse.